Well, afternoon everybody. Welcome back to the plot again. Cold and wet northeast day, but no doubt we've got plenty of jobs to do, so we're going to crack on tonight and try and get through a few of the fruit ones that I'd mentioned in the last video. So tonight, well, we've been picking through our raspberries over the last couple of weeks since our strawberry crop's nearly finished, and it's been an absolutely marvellous crop again. Unfortunately, this bed here is the old one, which I mentioned in a couple of videos ago. This is 8-year-old, so after this year we're going to completely dig this bed out and replace it with a nice fresh new runners that have been grown over the last couple of months. As I say, it's a worthwhile crop. Some beautiful fruits still in here. We've had plenty from them. So at the end of this year we'll completely remove all this bed, burn everything and transfer it to the far end of the garden into a new bed. But as I say, raspberries are quite easy to grow. Once you take your old canes and reroot them, they grow away quite easily. All they need is a good bit of manure. Well, nice deep bed on them, plenty of manure, a bit of extra feed in the springtime and plenty of water, and they'll reward you to no end. Beautiful crop. So we've got about 6 beds of these at the moment, and as I say, we'll get a worthwhile crop from them. So we love growing the raspberries, and they don't take up too much room. You can put them to the side of the beds, at the end of the beds, up against fences. As I say, as long as you get a good deep bed and plenty of manure, and they'll reward you to no end. But there's a crop here I want to show you tonight. We've got a lot of work to do on this. There's a few questions being answered on some of the internet sites that I go on, so I'm going to try to explain in detail about the rhubarb. So I'm just going to pan you around and hopefully give you an idea of what we like to do with our rhubarb. It's a worthwhile crop. We think so anyway. Now once again, this bed is about 7-8 year old, so it's high time it needs to be shifted. Some really first class stalks of rhubarb come up, still producing really well, good stems. As I say, it's a really worthwhile crop, but it's positioning and feeding. A lot of people just tend to stick it down the side of a fence or at the back of the shed or side of the greenhouse, whereas we like to put it in full sun. Have a nice bed of its own, and it'll reward you to no end. As I say, this has been here for about 6 years now, so it's due to be transplanted. What we're going to do next year is we're going to create a whole new bed. We're going to cut this bed in half and dig up the crowns that are in this side, leaving this side so we'll be able to crop this next year. When we dig these crowns up, we'll split them into 3 or 4, which will get about 20 crowns for the new bed down the bottom of the garden. Now really, you shouldn't crop the first year bed, so that's the idea of just using half of this bed this year. We'll plant it up for next year, a completely new bed, manure it, but we'll not crop from it. We'll just let it grow, die back, and then the second year we should get a really good crop. So next year we'll be able to take the second part of this bed out. So we've got a completely empty bed. We'll have plenty of crowns to spare to go around. Different people will be asking for them. As I say, rhubarb, it's a lovely crop. You can get a really worthwhile if you just look after it. Just a little bit of time and effort, plenty of manure and plenty of water. I remember at the beginning of the year when Dave come to pay a visit, and the rhubarb wasn't looking so well because we had a really dry winter. But over the last couple of weeks we've we've had nothing but rain, so it's really swelled it out, as I say, and it's looking fantastic. I really like the wife's ginger and rhubarb crumble. It's one of my favourites. No doubt you'd be able to make a nice wine from it. Or when we're kids, just half a pound of sugar and a stick of rhubarb, and we're over the moon. But that's our plan for this year anyway. As I say, we'll dig out half the bed and transplant it to its new position down at the bottom of the garden. And then next year we'll clear the full bed off. And then we'll go into that bed to make up with fruit. We've got some black currants here, some gooseberries, a couple more trees, so no doubt at the end of next year this bed will be full again. We can turn around now and we can have a look at some of the strawberries that we've been busy on the last couple of weeks. I'd like to show a few of the people that's been asking the questions about it, so I can get myself back up again. Right, so here we are again, and another job. We've been trying to get out the road for a couple of weeks as the strawberries. A lot of my baskets are now down with runners on, so we're busy rooting the runners away now. And the ones that we don't take the runners off, it's a quite easy task of just turning them inside out, and that's the sort of root ball you can expect. No holes in the bags, and 3 fantastic plants here to pot up. So we'll put the bag back in. We're not going to dispose of it just yet, because I've got another job for this basket to do. As I say, it won't be needed again till September, till I start off the new runners into the baskets for next year. So I'm going to put it to good use again for a couple of months. And the way I like to do that is to break the root ball up. As I say, they're fantastic plants, really fresh strawberries. Take away like the compost and the old roots. Back into the bag. And that is one nice single plant to go into this new pot for the second year strawberries. So we'll put that one up later. In the meantime, we'll finish off the last of these. As I say, there's plenty of compost, plenty of root on. I can take off as much as I can. Just put it back into the basket, leaving a nice root ball on the strawberry itself, just ready for potting up into the new pots, which, as I say, are the second year pots. Now we're getting about a good half filled basket here from these 3 plants. As I say, there's our strawberries now. Nice root ball on them, some nice fresh compost that we made up the other day, and then we'll get them potted up. But for the time being, there's a basket back. And all we're going to do with there is to put a couple of handfuls of our ready-made compost onto the top there. Level that off, and there we are. We'll put the chains back on them, and we'll put some dwarf French beans, so we'll get another crop in the lower tunnel. As I say, these baskets will not be needed again till September, so we'll put some dwarf French beans in there, get them hung in the tunnel, and we should get another late crop of beans before we need these baskets again. So I'll just put this to one side. Right, okay, well, we'll get ourselves away from the rhubarb for a bit and just carry on down here. As I say, we've been cutting these raspberries now for quite a few weeks. They're absolutely beautiful, the berries, some really nice ones on. Well pleased with them. As I say, there's plenty on the tops, and the birds have been helping themselves to them. We don't mind that. There's always plenty for us, so we really enjoy them. Some of the runners that's been coming off the raspberries have spread into the nearby beds, which is the one here, and these are the new runners that's going to replace the old crop that we'll take out at the end of this year. We've got plenty of them here. We've got them all staked up. All I've had is a little bit of nitro choke just to boost them up. They're starting to yellow a bit at the bottom, so I might just give them a drink of Epsom salts and give them a little bit boost. As you can see by the crops on the back there, absolutely fantastic. Amazing the amount of berries we get on these. These are about 3 to 4 year old, and these are all from the mother bed, which is at the back over there. Over the years we've taken countless runners and canes off them, and we've built our beds up that way. Here's some of the canes that's running. They're a good 4 foot from the main plant here, so you can see how vigorous they grow and how far they send their runners out. So these will be dug up in October time when everything dies back and the canes are dormant. We'll dig them up and transplant them over to there where there's a vacant site, and we'll get a nice new crop of canes for next year. So that's the plan for that. Right, well, parsnips are belting away. They're getting on a good size. Bit disappointed with the carrots this year. Looks like we've had a touch of root fly on them. Maybe we just took the onions out just a little bit too early. But no doubt we've got another crop at the back of there. Some nice kohlrabi there, just fattening up there. We'll be using some of them for lunch tomorrow. Nice boiled or shredded in salads. Not be long for peas, hopefully. They come on well. Looks like we've got a nice healthy crop of them. And as I say, for strawberries, well, these are the baskets we are taking the runners off, and we had them in the tunnel a couple of weeks ago because it was a little bit cold, but I brought them outside over the last couple of days, and you can see already the difference in the colour. Nice and green, really healthy looking. They're just in the small pots, just sharp sand and compost. I'm hoping to get them rooted as quick as I can, and so I can get them put in my own compost. As I say, these baskets here, once we take the runners off them, they'll get exactly the same treatment. They'll get knocked out of the baskets. The plants will be potted up in the second year pots, and then we'll wait for the new runners for the plant the baskets up again in September. So at the moment they're looking really great. There's 1 or 2 flowers starting to come on there, if you notice. What we like to do is just nip them off. What we don't need is them on. We're not going to try and get another crop from these. All we want to do is to get that root system built up as big as we can before they shut down for the winter months. And that's the secret of growing some good strawberries inside. Get that root system built up, and then you should get a fantastic crop out of them. They're doing fine at the moment. We're not going to do too much with them. We'll just keep an eye on them runners. No feeding or anything. Just water. If they need a spray, we'll give them the soapy water spray just to keep them clean. At the moment, there's no bugs around them, so I'm quite happy with them. Just let them sit there, ticking over until them runners get rooted, and then we'll pot them off again into our own potting mix. So I'm pleased with where things are. Right, well, it's a completely different day. Now the battery's charged up, and we're just going to finish this small video off with just a little pop around the plot and see what we've been doing for the last couple of days. As I say, yesterday it was cold and a little bit windy, but today it's completely different. It's still a bit windy, but it's a beautiful sunshine. It's now in the afternoon, and I just want to pop through the tunnel and just let you know how I've been getting on with these. The big American beefsteak tomatoes are just starting to come on. It's a nice pink flush on them. I've not tried them yet, but Roger reckons they're lovely. Me, I'm a money maker, man. I like the good old British varieties, and there we are. They're coming on absolutely fantastic, really nice. So we're getting some really nice tomatoes over the last couple of weeks. There's a truss there, will be perfect for the show bench. Just nice. But they're coming a little bit early. Around about the September time, we'll be looking for a couple of good trusses for the lads and their shows. Spanish tomatoes are coming out now. There's a nice big beefsteak tomato coming on there. Really nice. So yeah, well pleased with it. A little bit dry this evening, so I'm going to turn the weepy hose on before I go off. Make sure the beds get a good soaking overnight. As I say, there's plenty of tomatoes on, so I think we'll take a few of these off tonight. Another thing is the melons. Well, just looking at them, absolutely fantastic. They're going great. I'm really pleased with them. Massive. Just starting to take on a nice yellowish colour them, so I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks we should be able to pick our first melon of the season. Yeah, going really well. Well pleased with them. Might have to give them a bit of feed tonight. As I say, it's just a matter of checking the pots, checking the box there, checking below to see if they're nice and moist, and they should be okay. Right, well, continuing with our fruit, let's get ourselves outside and I'll let you know how we've been getting on here. Let's back onto our strawberries again. Now these are the ones we emptied out of the baskets that we didn't have any runners on, so we've completely emptied the baskets out and now put them into their second year pots. As you can see, there's some flowering stalks coming on them, so we like to do is nip them off. That's the last thing we want, is to get used to trying fruit. We've had enough fruit out of the baskets this year, so get these flowers nipped off and let them build up their root system. That's what we want. Good, strong, healthy plants. As you can see, they're really healthy. These are now in our compost that we'll make ourselves. I'll be letting you know later on next week in the next video how to do it. These are some of the baskets still to do. As I say, we've had most of the runners off these. Now they've all been cleaned down, and then they'll get tipped out. These big pots here, we've decided to do with the outside bed and put them in big 12-inch pots, 14-inch pots for the next 3 years instead of growing them in beds. We'll try it, we'll see how it goes. At least this way we can build a canopy right up the pathway on a set of staging with a cover over, so that way we should be able to protect them from the worst of the rainfall and of course the slugs. So we'll see how they go anyway. We'll give it a try. These are the big boys, the 3-year ones. These have been potted up from the 2nd-year ones off last year. As I say, there's still flowers trying to push on there, but get them off because we don't need them. They're not going to be allowed to fruit again. And they're a fantastic plant, really nice and healthy. Well pleased with them. We just like to keep an eye on them in case there's any bugs in them. And all they'll need is a good spraying with a bit of soapy water. Nothing too strong. As I say, there's flowers appearing on them because they're in our own mix now, really healthy. Good strong potting mix which will sustain them right through into next year. And all they'll need next year is a bit of sulphate of potash and then a good drink of horse manure as they're fruiting. And that's it. That's all they'll get. They should have enough feed in the compost that we've made to sustain them right through the following year. Really well pleased with them. Okay, so we'll just pop into the bottom tunnel again. As I say, the other night, the silks are on the sweet corns, and as you can see now, we're getting sweet corn on there. Nice young cobs. Absolutely amazing. I love these plants. There was actually 1, 2, 3 corns on there, possibly 4 coming on, yeah. Really healthy, getting well fed from what's been left in the trenches after the potatoes. Well pleased with them. And as I pointed out when I emptied the baskets out, well, here they are again. Here's where the baskets that had the strawberries in, we've tipped them out, just to use the bags again. It's just until the end of this year. I don't like to see anything sitting idle. So what we've done, we've popped some dwarf French bean into the baskets. As I say, these baskets will not be used again until September, so it just seems to be a waste for them sitting around the garden not doing anything. It really hasn't cost them much to do these, because all the old compost I took off the strawberry plants before repotting them up, we half filled the baskets, and then we only topped up with a bit of fresh compost, and that's all they'll need, nothing else. And as you can see, these have been in now 5 days, and there's the dwarf beans starting to come through already. I'm well pleased with them. They're well on their way. It's nice and warm in here. Plenty of fresh air because the nets are still on. But we should get a fantastic crop of dwarf French beans within the next month or two. As I say, they're all forcing their way through there. Well chuffed with them. We've still got a couple of baskets to do, but as I say, as we empty them out, we like to fill them back up again. And the Wilco beans, the dwarf French bean tender crop, is a perfect one for putting in. And of course, the purple queen, that's another good one. So we now have them right along the side of the tunnel, and we should get some fantastic crops from them. So well pleased. The grapes are coming on very well. Yeah, I've got a bit more thin to do on them, a bit more thin up to do on them, and the bunch is starting to swell out a bit there now. As I say, you can't really see much for the sweet corn, but they really are rampant this year. They really are pushing ahead. We've got 2 varieties in here. The first one was honeydew, and the second one, I'll have to look at that one up, but they seem to be a fairly strong plant, really growing well, so I'm happy with them. Yes, everything's coming along fine. No complaints so far. Right, well, we're back into the sunshine. As I say, it's a completely different day today from what it was yesterday. And the main thing was getting the strawberries sorted, seeing the raspberries, and of course the rhubarb. Now I will be making another video towards the back end of the year when we do start digging the rhubarb up. It's not an easy task. As I say, these rhubarbs have been here now for about 6-7 years, so the actual crown will be fantastic, it'll be massive. And the idea to break them up is to, as the rhubarb grows, and after a few years it'll start rotting away in the centre. So the idea is to dig the crown up, split it up, and use the good parts from on the edge of the crown and break it into new. So out of each crown here, we should roughly get about 6 to 7 new pieces. But we'll see what they're like when we start digging them up. As I say, we'll take half the bed up this year, and I'll do another video towards the back end of the year on the rhubarb when we actually do dig it up, and I'll show you how we go on with it anyway. We'll give it a good freezing first on the top of the new bed before sinking it into manure. So that's been quite a good afternoon. We've had a good walk around. We're well pleased with the way things are growing this year. No, the weather hasn't been so good for her, but we'll get there. We'll persevere. And as I say, the crops just keep coming, especially the raspberries. They're really putting on a good job this year. We've had plenty of food from them, and of course a lot of new canes which will make it into a new bed for next year. Well, I think it's just about finishing time again. Only job to do the night now is to water all these strawberry runners down, the young runners. Lots of them on there. Good sharp sand and compost, but they do tend to dry out a lot, so just keep an eye on them. The mother plants aren't so bad in the baskets, they can look after themselves. We've had enough rain to keep them going. But these are really healthy, really nice and green. Pleased with them. They should be rooted in about another week to fortnight's time. We'll cut away the runners and then get these potted up into their new baskets into our fresh homemade compost, and then that's when you see the difference. And it's all about getting them roots in and getting them growing fast, getting a good root system on it before the winter sets in, and then you shouldn't have any bother at all next year with your strawberries. You should get a first class crop. So yes, we're well pleased with them at the moment. And as I say, the pine berries, the new ones, we've got 12 runners there and 2 mother plants. But we'll see how they come. If they live up to expectations of what we like, and then we'll grow them again. I have been reading up on them. The pine berry, the white strawberry. So they should suit our needs. We'll try and grow some earlies and some lates. Maybe pop a few outside and see how they stand up to the good old British winter up the north east here. And if they can come through that, well, it should be okay for anything. Our sprout crop at the moment, I'm going to have to do some work on this. We haven't netted it this year. We were going to net it a couple of weeks ago because there's been a lack of butterflies this year. We haven't had too many flitting around, so we haven't been in too much of a hurry to cover them. As I say, these have had no pesticides or anything on them yet. And they're nice and fresh and nice and green. We'll just keep checking them day by day, just to make sure there's nothing on them. And at the most we'll get a bit of soapy water if we do find any green fly or white fly on them. But yeah, up till now, no caterpillars or anything, nice and clean. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye to them. So, I've enjoyed myself walking around the garden today. I hope you have. As I say, the fruit crops have been great for us. The strawberries, raspberries, the rhubarb. A few black currants at the far end there. We've got some work to do on them for next year, the black currant bushes. But no doubt we'll spend a bit of time on them. What I want to do next week is to start my chrysanthemums. They're not for show, they're for the house, but we'll let you get some nice fresh blooms from them. And I'll show you in the next video how I'll be tackling them. We'll keep on top of the tomatoes, our peppers, the chilies, all growing well. It's just a matter of keeping them well fed, well watered, not too high a temperature, plenty of fresh air for them, and everything should do well. So I'm going to sign off tonight. I just hope you've enjoyed this little walk around and hope it helps. Little information I have given you on the fruits and the way we grow it. And well, bye for now. Enjoy it.